Okay, you're ready to go, but you're probably still buried inside this material load menu. So turn that dial to come all the way down to this return button on the back, and return all the way back up to the top level menu. Then come on up to the print menu and click it. You should be seeing a line that says latest. And if the file that you put on the USB key was the last thing you put on there, it's likely that this field is going to be showing the file that you want to print. If not, just scroll around and look for your file, and if you absolutely can't find it, think about giving your files more friendly names. Select it and push the button, and you are off and running. The print head is going to wiggle around a little bit, but then it's going to seem to do absolutely nothing at all because it's going to take a while to heat up your build plate. The build plate on this printer is made of glass and will be warmed up to a temperature that is very receptive to that first layer of your molten 3D print material. While you wait, you can touch the build plate gently to feel it getting warm. It's not going to get so hot that it burns you. And while you're waiting, you might also notice that the build plate is covered with a thin layer of craft glue. Imagine glue sticks from elementary school. It's covered with a thin layer of craft glue to help with that very first layer, with the adhesion of that very first layer. It's also a good time to ask, is the door of the 3D printer, this clear plexiglass door, closed? Closing the door, yes, there's a bit of safety. You could get pinched by the 3D print head, but really closing the door is about keeping the build envelope, the inside of this box, nice and warm. It's probably going to take about 4 minutes for the build plate to warm up, so this is a nice time to think over all the procedures thus far and to pick up the phone and call your mom. The moment everything is warm, the print bed is going to rise up on the Z-axis to meet the nozzle, and the printing is going to begin. The system is going to prime all moving parts by depositing a mound of filament here in the corner, and then the most critical layer of your 3D print will be deposited. This layer between the glass of the print bed and your PLA is the most critical to get right. What does it mean to get it right? At this point, it just means stand by and watch. And you're looking for that first layer to appear as though it is as flat as the sheet of glass. In no way is it peeling up at the corners or getting snagged by the brass nozzle or getting knocked completely off the print bed. That's all you're looking for. And as this clip of the video demonstrates, I'm looking at it from several angles. I'm peering down from the top, and I'm looking across the sheet of glass for any of those peel-up problems. After the first layer, I start to sit back and just enjoy the process. If you sized your 3D model correctly, only 10 millimeters across the largest axis, then this print's only going to take you about 5 minutes. So just hang out and watch and enjoy the process, get to know the printer a little bit, and watch how it works. When it finishes, the whole bed is going to drop away, and you will get to retrieve your print. Open the door and check that your first layer really did adhere as well as you thought it did when you first saw it going down. Notice the big brim that surrounds the actual 3D model. This helps secure the model onto the print bed. And then go ahead and grab the spatula. This step is easy with tiny prints and a bit more nuanced with large prints. You're trying to pry your model free from the print bed, and so this takes sliding and tapping and rocking and wedging, trying not to gouge all the glue off the print bed, but simply trying to look for a moment of weakness under your 3D print that allows it to slowly rock off of the glass. Oh, it's so satisfying, and you might be tempted to run home immediately to show your mom, but you're not going to. You're going to resist the urge and tidy up the workstation, and that starts with unloading the material. So click Print Remove and come back to Material, Material 1, and choose Unload. This is going to zip the print head around and then drive that drive wheel in reverse, thus pulling your material all the way back out and all the way out of the feeder. So you're going to want to take it from where it's coiled in a mess on the floor and spool it back onto the spool, and take note of the very end of the filament, which is now half melted from when it was inside the print core. Take a pair of needle nose pliers and snip the end of that half melted filament such that the end of your filament now has a nice, clean, slightly wedged tip. Take the lid off your airtight container, bring the desiccant out, get the spool of filament back in, put the desiccant in, packed around it, put the lid back on, and seal that container. All of this means that the next person trying their first go at 3D printing gets to have a shot at it, just like you did. Now grab a razor blade, confirm with yourself that you are comfortable with the knife skills required, and use that blade to trim the brim off of your 3D model. At that point, you are done. Congratulations, you have made your first 3D print on the Ultimaker. 3D printers are cool, and hopefully this mini training gives you a couple of ideas about how you can start making so much more.